Can we say that voice of conscience
Hmm.
is
Hmm.
depends the ethical or moral stand of the person?
Sorry, come on.
Ethical or moral stand of the person.
Full statement, please.
Can you say that voice of conscience is the ethical or moral standard of the person?
Okay.
Can you say that is it
You're asking, right? Okay, I understand what you're trying to say. But again, I'm asking you the same thing. If, let's say, conscience is there, like do this, don't do this. So, in the simplistic understanding, all of us have some inner voice which will tell us this is good, this is bad, this is good, this is bad, right? So, that is what morality, ethics, or conscience will tell you. But voice of conscience comes into a picture when you are about to act on something, and also when you have acted on something. Say for example, some you're an auto driver, somebody forgot a briefcase. Okay, now you have a crisis of conscience in your mind, right, internally, to return it to the owner or not to return it. So that is some internal discussion that you are having. That is some internal discussion. You acting it will be a basis for judgment, ethical judgment. Yes or no? You acting on that is basis for ethical judgment. Your thinking is your own, and nobody in the planet can judge you for what you think. So normal understanding is what? Conscience is the inner judge. Okay, conscience is a inner judge. So if you remember determinants of ethics, individual or conscience is also one determinant of ethics. Yes or no? Conscience is also a inner judgment. Okay, but as you rightly ask, where does conscience come from? If I don't know earlier what is good and bad, then how will I come to the discussion in the first place? I saw a water bottle and I'm taking it home. Nobody ever told me that you are not supposed to take other stuff. Then the crisis of conscience or voice of conscience will never arise. Yes, does it arise? For example, you never knew what is patriarchy. For example, hypothetically, you never knew what is patriarchy. Then what will happen? You are doing some act which is very patriarchal. You will never have crisis of conscience or voice of conscience. Yes. So only when your moral standards are set, only when cultural, societal, and other norms are already set, you link your conscience to that judgment. Determinants of ethics are determinants of conscience. Conscience is also one determinant of ethics. So again, they overlap definitely. They create each other, right? For example, I am from a particular culture, right? Let's say I went to a temple with slippers, thinking something else. Okay, then suddenly I realized I'm wearing my footwear. I came out. That is where the crisis of conscience will come into the picture, right? I feel that I have done something wrong, which is already a set standard. You're able to understand? See, this is a set standard. Okay, you keep ping ponging, you keep bouncing your ideas to that set standard. Anything you do according to the set standard, you don't have a crisis of conscience. Anything you do differently, that is when crisis of conscience will come into the picture. You have done something voluntarily or involuntarily, that is when you start having that issues. Yes, or when you feel that you have a buffer between these two things, that is also when the crisis will come into the picture. So actions done, actions about to be done, like I'm about to do something, okay, or I have done something. In both the cases, I have the buffer. Yes, that is when the crisis of conscience will come into the picture.
It's when you have some sort of guilt in you, that is when
Again, we will come to that. See, there are two ways. There are more than one way to look at conscience. for the simple understanding, conscience is what? Inner judge. That is the established pattern, right? I'm judging myself on some established standard, either it's religious, cultural, or societal. Okay, so as rightly pointed out by Sharath, we can come to the conclusion that conscience is relativism. Yes or no? Conscience is always relative. My conscience may not be applicable to you because of my values and my standards. So I am thinking about some X. X is a moral agent, right? So moral agent will have crisis of conscience in comparison to set standards. So one easiest judgment is self. X is one person, X is a doer, and X is also the observer. Yes or no? I am not judging somebody else's action. I am judging my own action. I am also the observer. This is one school of thought. That means I have done something and I am also observing the same action. So I am like two different. One self is divided into two different parts. So what is the two different parts doing? One is acting, the other one is judging or observing or thinking or analyzing. Yes or no? You are stealing something or you are robbing something. There is a constant voice. Yes. This is one school of thought. Okay. The other one is the emotions. The other one is emotions. You feel negative emotions. That is when you know you have crisis of conscience. Yes or no? You can also have positive emotions in crisis of conscience, right? You have done something which is not accepted by the society, but you subconsciously know it is he who has done something good. Yes or no? Let's say the entire family is against helping the maid or someone. Okay, but secretly you gave her 5,000 rupees because she is in a problem, right? So here the voice of conscience is positive. The feeling is positive rather than negative. You have done something wrong which is against your family wishes. That is where you have guilty. Yes or no?
So how can crisis be positive?
The voice of conscience. I use the term voice of conscience, not crisis of conscience, right? I said voice. My inner voice is saying I have done something good. Okay. See again, the term conscience is neutral, right? It is not having any emotions on its own. Conscience is clean. And second thing, conscience is not a standard. Conscience is a comparison to standard. Let's say for example, I know, as she has pointed out, I am a good student. Okay, which is not true by the way. So I say I am a good student. I am in the last year of my engineering exam. I know one of my friend who is very poor. If he fails in that particular exam, his family will be in lot of problems, right? So I helped him to cheat, which is a negative thing as per the society. But my voice of conscience said what? I applied utilitarianism, right? Like our output, consequentialism. I said, okay, it's good to help him in this particular situation and I'm making an exemption for myself, and that is relative. And that is relative? Yes or no? I hope you understand. So conscience per se is neutral. It doesn't have anything. It's not a moral standard. Yes or no? It is an action or it's a decision where you have thoughts in comparison to particular standards. Are we clear? Yes? Individual values, traits, beliefs, systems, socialization, everything will create your conscience. Yes or no? Say, no, definitely conscience is not emotional. It's a feeling. Again, that feeling stems from some rationality. Let's say I have stolen this water bottle. After going home, I will feel bad. Ram sir will notice. That's a knowledge that I have. Okay. The emotion is like emotional. I mean, the output is emotional, but the emotional output came from some rational knowledge. Yes or no? So first of all, we will understand the definition. The term conscience translate into Latin, okay, which simply means sharing of knowledge. Okay, the very word it comes from sharing of knowledge. So without knowledge and without rationality, there is never conscience. Yes, without rationality and without knowledge, there is never conscience. You don't know that you are not supposed to go to temple with footwear. Does the conscience come? No, right? Because you never knew. But is it ethical or is it moral? Let's say I went to Himachal Pradesh, wearing helmet is compulsory. Right? I didn't know. As usual, I was driving. But ethically, it is my burden. I am supposed to know the customs and tradition. Yes? So, conscience translates from the Latin word conscientia, which means knowledge and sharing with. So, technically speaking, etymologically, the word does not have anything. But whenever we discuss conscience, we discuss in the terms of moral knowledge. Okay, it is used to refer moral knowledge that is shared with oneself. That is the most important definition you have to understand. I am sharing moral knowledge with myself. So do you remember moral wisdom, the Aristotle thing? Moral wisdom comes from reflection, thinking, practice, training, understanding, socialization. So if your father has given you some moral knowledge, you are talking to yourself, you are sharing that knowledge to yourself, and you are deciding whether this action is a good action or not. It's very simple, right? Okay. Are you understanding right now? So conscience is a knowledge. Here is knowledge, here is action. The buffer zone is where the voice of conscience will come. And if there are two alternative stands that you can take, for example, helping a friend to cheat is a good thing according to me because his circumstances are different. But I also know cheating is wrong, and if I get caught, I will be debarred. That is when crisis of conscience will come. So voice of conscience is not like what? It's plural. Voice of conscience is plural. I can have multiple voice of conscience in one situation, just like multiple moralities. When they collide, that is when it becomes crisis of conscience. Yes. Say for example, have you ever washed a toilet? Like, did you clean toilet in your own home? Yes. Okay. I mean, generally speaking, yes. Does it lead to any crisis of conscience? Does it lead to crisis of conscience? Cleaning toilet in your own home with your own, like, I mean, hands in the sense, by yourself. My bad. By yourself cleaning a toilet, is it wrong? It's not wrong, right? Why? You need to keep it clean or it will smell. Okay, that is rationality. Fine. But also the thing is, your moral knowledge or your knowledge levels have changed. Your understanding the dignity of labor is something that has changed, and you have imparted it with yourself. You never thought it is a wrong thing, but there was an entire generation of members who thought it is something not even supposed to be done by us. There is a dedicated community for that. Yes or no? So with increase in moral knowledge, that crisis of conscience is gone. Now if you ask someone to do that, that is when your moral conscience or moral crisis will come into the picture. I hope you understand. Yes or no? Yes. So read the first point. I will share the PDF anyhow for your own understanding. As I told you, ethics is very easy to learn, very, very hard to apply to the society, see it. That is when the problem comes. Okay. So through our individual conscience, we become aware of our deeply held moral principles. Yes or no? Only when you are in a particular situation, you come to have that conscience. See, I will also tell how it is useful for UPSC by the end of this PDF, and you will also use certain technical terms, because as I told you, there is no proper good material. Everybody is repeating the same content. I think they found it in 1 or 2 books. Okay, they are using the same codes and throwing the same examples. It is not going to fetch you extra marks, right? So develop clarity today and apply it, and your questions on conscience will be very, very easy. And even if they don't ask you, you can throw in conscience because you have learnt it. Yes, so no moral crisis, right?
So we judging our own actions with conscience, society judging our actions with morality.
In one way, but at the same time, there are multiple schools within conscience. For example, I will see conscience as a judge, self-judge. Okay, more or less religion doctrines will promote that ideology. Yes or no? You are doing this, God is watching you, so you have done something wrong. Yes, the other way is feelings. I feel guilty, I feel sad, I have hurted someone subconsciously, so I feel guilty. Guiltiness comes from consciousness, and the awareness that I have hurt someone is what is making me guilty. So again, it is rationality. So conscience is not emotional. And according to Kant and other, conscience also motivates you to do your duty well, right? So public servant aspect can be also dealt with conscience. Yes, so again we will go to there. Just before that, we understand the first paragraph. We are motivated to act upon them as we assess our character, behavior, and ultimately ourselves against those principles. That is what I told you. We have an ultimate benchmark. Yes or no? We keep comparing with the benchmark. Let's say you are an educated person. One of your cousins came out and say he is a lesbian or a gay, right? So crisis of conscience will definitely come into the picture. You are liberal, you don't have any issues with them choosing their own partners, right? But at the same time, you also feel bad for the family. Yes, both of them stem from knowledge only, right? You know what the family thinks, how orthodox or conservative the family is. At the same time, you know your cousin is a good person and he is not stupid. Yes, how do you manage that friction? If you tell them, it will cause a problem. If you don't tell them, it will cause a problem. So normally you see this in love stories, right? Yes or no? Your cousin, or you probably are in love, you don't know how to convey it, you have a voice of conscience, no, not hurting the elders. Never faced such crisis, sir, you are lucky. Okay, so I'm just generally trying to explain to you. So simply put, sharing moral knowledge with oneself, yes, sharing moral knowledge with oneself is conscience, is one way to understand. But again, right, at one point of time, I am not using objectivity or rationality to convey my conscience. As you rightly pointed out, it's relativism, right? For example, what is good for Aditya may not be good for you, what is good for both of you may not be good for Hare Krishna. So there is no rationality. After a point of time, if I am appealing to your conscience, I am appealing you on a emotional level rather than objective level. So it becomes subjective. So conscience discussions or conscience persuasions will come under a subjective discussion. For example, I will go to the farmer agitation, right? The farmer agitation that is happening outside Delhi. There I will use subjective argument to persuade the people. I will appeal to their conscience. See, I am not talking about the bills, right? I am appealing to their conscience. Conscience is a subjective. After a point of time, I cannot convince them objectively. Yes, very simple. Don't get confused. Too many technical terms. We will simplify that. Just the underlying things. Conscience is a pluralistic notion. We have established that because I can have multiple conscience. We all can have different consciences. Then conscience is a morally neutral concept. Now the beauty of conscience is what? I have done some corruption. I can feel guilty and I can also use it to justify my own actions. Yes or no? It's like an empty water bottle. I can use it to suit my needs rather than deciding according to it. Yes. For example, you have helped your friend to copy. What is your justification? His family will suffer, blah blah blah. You bring out so many definitions. But if you are taking purely moral stand, what is moral stand? Copying is wrong. But what is the beauty of conscience? It is morally neutral. I can use it to make me feel guilty or to convince you it's okay. If I want to make you feel guilty, what will I tell? Your parents sent you so much money. Yes or no? You are wasting your attempt. Blah blah blah. I'm persuading you. Okay, that is morally making you guilty because morality is a neutral concept. At least conscience is a neutral concept. I can make you feel guilty or I can make you feel. Sorry? Okay. It's okay, right? I mean, you're not wantedly doing this, subconsciously it is happening. Then also I can control your conscience. Yes. See, again, conscience also comes from emotional intelligence. Yes, attitude, value system, culture, society, and even nation. There are so many things that comes into the picture. For example, subconsciously also you don't plan to insult the national flag. You see something lying on the road, you pick it up and you drop it on the side of the road, or you will take it home, or you will do something. So where does that voice come from? Yes or no? Only through established patterns of the society. So per se, conscience is morally neutral concept. Something is not made better or worse, acceptable or unacceptable, simply being a matter of conscience. You have copied in the exam. Now you want to justify it or you feel guilty. But that does not have any implication whatsoever on copying. Yes or no? Copy is copy. I can justify it. How? I can add some reasons. I want to feel guilty. I will add some exceptions. So that is where the concept also is Upanishads, right? For example, fire is fire. The nature of fire is never changing. Yes or no? If you want to cook, okay, you don't put the fire in a candle. Yes or no? And keep waiting. When will it cook? Yes or no? At the same time, when you want to have like warmth, you don't sit in front of a candle again. So the nature of fire is same. So actions have nothing to do with your thought process. It is you who was judging. I can judge better or worse. Okay. Right. Conscience only concerns the subjective dimensions of morality. That is what I am trying to tell you, right? It is always subjective. Okay. Now, just read this paragraph, it will make more sense. Yes. And remember, unlike other ethical theories which offer moral puzzles or tragic dilemmas, conscience is a day-to-day affair. Okay, you implement literally in your life on a daily basis without knowing it. Yes. And higher the knowledge, the clarity will be there in your conscience, because conscience is nothing but a gap between your emotional self and probably the rational self and the action you are about to take. Yes. So you have a crystal clear knowledge. If I hurt, let's say, someone, they will become a better student. without moral obligation, I will keep on hurting them till they either leave or get better. So that comes with emotional, intellectual and other traits. So I can assess that person is potential. I will keep on scolding them till they get better, right? So that's a gap or a judgment. Yes or no? So conscience will come into multiple things. The yesterday Sophie's dilemma, Sophie's challenge, that Nazi guard doesn't have any moral conscience. Why? He strongly believes that Jews are inferior race. There is no harm in hurting them. So he can be as sadistic as he can be. Yes or no? I hope you understand. Yes, two citizens were killed in police station in Tamil Nadu. Police brutality. Yes, in 21st century, after all this awareness and education, they were beaten black and blue till they bled to death. Okay, what happened to the conscience? Yes, yes, the Priyanka Reddy case also. Okay, we appeal to conscience. At that time, we don't see what happened to ethics and all those things. We appeal to conscience. What were they doing? Why were they behaving like animals? So in all those places, I am not discussing with my rationality. I want the other to respect my consent beliefs, regardless of how good or bad my moral reasoning is. Yes or no? After a point of time, conscience is all about appealing to your subjectivity with my subjectivity. Clear? Yes? I hope you understand. Any questions?
So in the last one, after one point, it is appealing to your subjectivity with my subjectivity.
Because after that point of time, I stopped being. I'm not discussing with you on rationality basis, right? I'm appealing to your conscience. So your conscience is not rational. My conscience is not rational. After a point of time, we are trying to see. Till a particular point, we will decide what fetus have. Consent, fetus should not have consent, but beyond that point there is no objective discussion between us. So I will tell you, we should give the benefit of doubt to the mother, and you will say yes or no, right? So at that, after that point, we discussed more in subjective terms rather than objective terms, and you may or may not agree. So if you feel compelled, you will accept. Yes, so till rationality prevails, till as long as rationality can prevail, I will argue with rationality. The moment rationality ends, it is all subjective. Mine, because till I have that rationality, I will try to give you facts and data. Yes, according to science, only after 6 months the baby will develop consciousness. That is proved empirical data, so on and so forth, etc., etc. As long as I don't have that data, I will say the mother's values, the cultural values, etc. Right? So as long as I have data or some knowledge, I will keep on appealing on that basis. The moment it ends, I will shift to subjective persuasion.
So then how it is different from the emotional manipulation? Like
Not okay. Yes, I understand. Okay.
The judgment was like giving a bail to a particular victim. So was it what the court is giving, like trying to build a consensus on the occasion? How can we use this?
In that particular situation, we are throwing away the existing rationality, right? See, there is unknown zone. Okay, you are entering the unknown zone. It's okay to use your own conscience. You never faced that dilemma. But if I tell you, you found 1 lakh rupee note or 1 lakh rupee suitcase, okay, you are taking it home, right? There is no discussion for conscience, right? It is very crystal clear that it is a wrong thing. We are entering into something new, some new territory like applied ethics. That is where conscience will come into the picture. Okay, for example, let's say you are a doctor, you are a very good doctor with gene editing abilities. Okay, some patient came to you with a very, very rare disease. You can edit the gene and you can save the baby, right? That is when your crisis of conscience will come into the picture, right? If I do this and if I save the baby, okay, probably I'm going to set a bad precedent, right? Let's say the China example. So let's say both the babies were affected with HIV/AIDS, but moral consensus is what? that gene editing on babies is prohibited. So it's a crisis of conscience for me to save the babies or not to save the babies. Definitely it's immoral or unethical according to the society, but it is up to me who has to decide that, and at that point I'm not using rationality and I'm using my subjectivity. If I feel that those babies are supposed to be saved, it's not about rationality. Are we clear? Okay, what the court has done is established objectivity is thrown and subjectivity is brought out. Objectivity is always good. Objectivity is here. Objectivity means 2 plus 2 is 4. Subjectivity is what? Anything is 4. I decided it is 4. Yes or no? So as long as you have objective criteria, everybody will follow your path.
Other consciences, like
Sorry?
as a body, we consider the court as a body, we consider consciences what court.
What court is doing is morality, right? For example, it is setting a moral standard. If court says you molest a woman, tie a Rakhi, you are her brother now. I'm setting a moral standard which is outside. If I'm thinking inside, that is conscience. So what you are discussing is morality. What we are discussing is conscience, right? So if the rapist himself has realized, or the molester himself has realized, okay, I have done something wrong, without the judge's intervention, if he say, sir, from now on I will consider her as my sister, punish me, but I will also tie the Rakhi. She may or may not accept her choice, but that is conscience. He realized some through introspection. Yes, are we clear? He has to develop that own thought process. Quickly, where are we? Conscience is a faculty for self-assessment. Yes, conscience, only when we have conscience, we will get self-assessment, right? We will try to get better or worse. See, again read this particular paragraph, it will tell you a lot of things. The asymmetry between confidence in the validity of my own moral standards and confidence in the validity of standards provided by other people, right? Yes, you have to understand, we are not discussing black and white areas. Black and white areas are not conscience, it's our arrogance. Stealing is wrong. Stealing is wrong. We decided not to adhere to that particular principle. Okay, conscience actually comes into the picture in modern day times only when there is a very huge asymmetry between what everybody is thinking and what I am thinking. For example, simply put, the latest or the new generation thinks it's okay to have premarital sex. Okay, it is something abhorrent to previous generation, right? So who is correct? There is an asymmetry in changing lifestyles. There is an asymmetry in changing circumstances. You know, India is a country, the same country where we have a lot of orthodox issues and other things, and the same country also have OA rooms. Okay, if I am a business owner, yes or no? Yes, so it's a fact, right? The same country. What happened to the conscience? Changing knowledge levels, asymmetry. Yes. We have discussed this. Yes, and one more technical term you remember is bites of conscience. Conscience comes in bursts. It's like a occasional spark, right? You don't 24/7 feel guilty. Only when you feel, like for example, you spoke to your parents. After cutting the call, there is a burst of conscience. Yes or no? And evil personified Kalyan sir class. Okay, burst of conscience. Till how long? Till he turns the corridor. Yes or no? So bites of conscience. It means it's a small introspective movement we feel. Then it's gone. Have you ever been 24/7 guilty? Exactly. Yes or no? It's a self-preservative mechanism, right? The moment I feel guilty, I will again feel it's okay. I will have a Baskin and Robin ice cream. Then things are better. Okay. So you know, the term remorse come from remordere, which means to bite again. So remorse is like occasional pinch that you feel. Okay. And again, conscience does not generate its own moral principles. What is conscience? As I told you, it's a judgment or it's a measurement between your knowledge and the action you are doing to do and the value system that created your actions. Okay, so it is not a moral principle on its own. Conscience also stands on existing values, existing moralities, existing principles, laws and rules. So for example, you might relate it to this example, right? In schools, we used to speak vernacular languages. Normally, what do the schools do? They introduce a mind-blowing idea that if you speak in vernacular language, if the class monitor finds out, you have to pay 50 rupees, 50 paisa, 1 rupee. Most idiotic idea ever, huh? 5 rupees, okay, rich schools, okay. Okay, so yes, so you must have seen this, right? You may not have experienced that, lucky. If you have experienced that in the school, see, all the schools have the same idiotic idea somehow. Yes. Now, have you ever felt that you are having that crisis? Did you ever feel remote, guilty, like you yourself went and gave 50 rupees or 50 MP, 50 paisa or 5 rupees? I accidentally spoke a Telugu word. Take 5 rupees. Have you ever done that? No? Hmm. 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 Hmm.
Unless you're into this.
Mm-hmm. Okay. You get the ideas?
So for this person being in vernacular medium, I never tested.
You never tasted that. It's okay.
But sir, once I missed my helmet somewhere,
Hmm.
and like I had that thing in my mind, like I was almost on the verge of crying only because like one, I have that was my favorite helmet, and secondly, I knew going without helmet is like wrong
Right.
from all the perspectives. So unconsciously, somehow, like I went to the traffic police directly, and I told this uncle, I have missed my helmet somewhere. Now tell me what shall I do? Like I was ready to pay the fine on.
Okay.
He let me.
Crisis of conscience. Very good. So yes. So I think it's more about your favorite helmet. Okay. Yes. Yeah, I totally appreciate that. No. It's a good thing. We seldom do such courageous act, right? Probably at that time your knowledge was very limited. You were innocent, right? I don't think you will do that now. Yes. So jokes apart, yeah. So see again, conscience does not create. See, her moral direction came from her moral principles, right? That act of losing helmet, that triggered something which is deeply held in her own value, that law should not be broken. So the conscience came into the picture only with the knowledge that there is a law which says that I should not drive without helmet. At the same time, she is also concerned about the values that her family set. Take care of yourself or be safe. Right? So family values fill into law. Both of them come into the create a crisis of conscience. It's not crisis, it's a voice of conscience. It told her this is not a safe thing to do. Yes? Say for example, you are about to try drugs for the first time out of kick. Okay, that is when your family values will come into the picture. And it is time and again proved empirically, those who don't love themselves or those who don't get love are the people who have high chances of getting addicted. There is a scientific experiment where a caged rats were there, okay, and in the corner a bottle with cannabis, what we call as cocaine filled water was there. It makes the mice get high. So the mice used to go to the corner, tap the mission and get high. high to the point that it died, because it doesn't know where to stop. But the same mice, after a point of addiction, when it was thrown into socialized mices, that means a group of mices, it had friends, it had somebody to discuss, it stopped going towards that particular addiction. So if a mice can tell us that, you know, if people are facing some addiction, some problem, we as a society or a family members have to create that conscience again in him. We can apply the same for radicalization. When we alienate, that is when the conscience is diluted. Yes or no? I can influence your emotional state, and all your existing knowledge can be brushed away. Yes or no? So at the individual level, conscience is a very, very powerful thing. It is what drives you, it is what motivates you. Yes or no? Somewhere you feel that you are obligated to your family. See, all the rules, regulations, canon, theology are useless unless you have a conscience. That is the power and beauty of conscience. Yes or no? Yes or? See, most of the times we don't do a stupid thing or a crime because this is the first and the most important barrier. Once we breach this, we don't know where we will land up. Yes, it can start with smoking. It might lead to alcohol, then drugs, then we don't know. Anything can happen. So if you are into Indian mythology or religious doctrines, for example, have you heard about Bhagavatam? Yes, Bhagavata, right? So the very story of Bhagavatam starts with one person giving into vices. The moment you give into one vice, very quickly your life will be deteriorated. Yes or no? So that is why your crisis of conscience will come into the picture. See, some families don't even entertain playing cards for fun. Yes or no? Some families don't even entertain playing cards for fun. Why? You don't know when you are going to become a professional gambler. And it happens very quickly, right? It's not like you can see the future. Yes? I hope I understand. Yes. So knowledge. So conscience does not create its own moral principles. Only when you have existing moral principles, you will get a lot of strong conscience. It tells you this is good, this is bad. But what does human being do? Human being thinks that he is very smart. He thinks that first time using a cigarette or a drug, he will resist it. Yes or no? He will always control it. I took corruption or I took bribery for first time. Next time I will resist. But actually there are people who said no second time because they had a huge crisis of conscience. They lost their sleep. They felt so guilty. They cried or whatever. Then only they come to a conclusion that I am not going to do this. So sometimes conscience is a feedback mechanism. In a moment of weakness, you have done something stupid. Then next time you went to the temple, you promised something. Okay, that I am not going to repeat that. And most citizens actually adhere to that principles, or else society would not run. Okay, see, these are all day-to-day, life-to-life examples, right? You see all these things. You have done something stupid and your father found out. And he did not shout at you. You can take the Gandhiji's example. Gandhiji's own life. Gandhi had this crisis of conscience, right? It's a voice of conscience. He told him, you know, this is wrong. You can also see that famous Rajinikanth movie, Arunachalam, right? When he smokes, his father found out, throws him in a room with full of cigarettes. He gets so irritated that his father created a system that he never smoked. So all this, it's a mechanism. So conscience is neutral and conscience does not have its own principle. But how much importance do I need to have give to conscience is created by ecosystem. Yes or no? Let's say you are smoking. Your father saw and he didn't shout on you. You expected him to beat you, black and blue. Yes, but he did not say a single word. You feel so guilty, right? That guilty is what? Conscience. Because of that, you quit smoking. So you understand the power of conscience, right? It's a tool which will be generated through value systems, knowledge. Definitely, right? Conscience is, see, whatever virtues or morals, determinants of ethics are there, they are also creators of conscience. For example, in South India, you see someone, you kick someone with the leg accidentally. What do? You do this. Why? Sorry? Even I do that. Most South Indians actually do this. Whenever I touch someone by accident with the leg, we do this. Why? It's a social conditioning in the first place. It's an attitude that has been developed in me. But the most important thing is I respect you. That created a voice of conscience. Book is Saraswati. Coin is Lakshmi. Whenever you step accidentally on a paper, the first thing you do is you do this. You are saying sorry. So what is it creating? It's creating a conscience in your voice. It is reinforcing your conscience, saying what? You have to respect books. You have to respect money. Yes or no? So if that social conditioning is not there, if that attitude is not created in me, I will never have that crisis of conscience. Yes or no? So there is recently a cover or something. Selena Gomez. She was standing on a stack of books for her poster. Right? Say, I'm not judging people. I'm giving you an example. So you don't see that in Indian society. Why? We have a crisis of conscience, right? We have a voice of conscience. That book is Saraswati. I have seen it in every religion. That is the beauty of social assimilation, right? Yes, one of my friends is Arshad. He's a Muslim, right? Obviously by name. So one day I kept a book open and I was about to sleep. Then he told me, never leave a book open. Why? Like goddess will be angry. Okay. From that day onwards, I never left a book open. See, it's a conditioning. I'm not saying I believe that or I may not believe that, but Arshad's mother told me never to leave a book open. See, it might be something rational. Something might fall on the book accidentally. You might spill a coffee. Lot of bad things can happen to the book. But commonsensical thing is, if I add some social conditioning, then what do? I believe that. See, it's a neutral term. It has created some moral principle in me that book has to be respected. Yes or no? Say for example, especially whenever it comes to religious books, you are supposed to read them after having a bath, cleaning in a religious place. You don't read Bhagavad Gita by lying on the bed. Yes? So, if I do that, there is some voice telling me, this is a religious book. I'm not supposed to do that. What are the spillover effects of that creation? I also will be more attentive to whatever that book is saying. And that will condition me to read all the books in similar condition. Yes or no? So the moral values of the society create a conscience in you. That is how the spillover effects will take place. Yes? So conscience is the thread that connects all the moral values subconsciously. Just imagine the societal values, cultural values, constitutional values and all these things as the flowers. Conscience is one thread that runs through all of them, and conscience is always individualistic. The stronger I understand a particular value, the more I will appreciate it. Are we clear? Any other examples you can think of? The Gita itself, okay.
Arjuna, lack of price of conscience, and at that point of time, Krishna tries.
Okay. So Krishna gave him knowledge so that knowledge dissipated that confusion. So Arjuna never had the crisis of conscience throughout the war again. Right? So very good example. See, Arjuna did what? Arjuna went to the middle of the war, then he asked, in the middle of the war, please stop the Radham. Then he said, he is my grandfather, he is my uncle, he is the one who taught me archery, he is my brother-in-law, this. So he was giving all the gyan to Krishna. Then Krishna asks very simple question, are you the boss or am I the boss? So he gives him the knowledge, I am the eternal one, everything is me and I am everything. So if you do your duty, you will be protected, they will also be protected. Only by increasing the knowledge, Arjuna was able to make that choice. Yes? So for example, today there is a famous Telugu actor movie that is being released. Okay, today I think today only. Okay, so all the patriarchal men will go to that particular movie. realizing that movie is an adaptation of a Hindi movie which talks about consent. Okay, again, please. Yeah. So then what happens is there is no crisis of conscience because I don't even know the concept of consent or societal morality. Yes or no? When I don't have the concept of consent and societal morality, there is no concept of crisis of conscience. Yes, sir. Clear? See, per se, movies have a lot of good messages. If I don't even know what the message is, then I can never appreciate it and use it in my conscience. I hope you understand. Say for example, yeah. For example, you are walking on the road, you commented on a girl. Okay, you never faced a obligation. Like you didn't realize that it was a big deal. But one day when you went home, your sister came to you. She told me like this happened to me, and she was crying. That is when you realize, okay, I might have done a similar harm to similar person, like a different woman. That is when you develop a conscience. Actually, you are not developing a conscience. You are developing morality. You understood. You have a new enlightened moment, right? Your knowledge increased. That it will only hurt people by commenting mindlessly on the roads. So from that moment onwards, you will have that clarity not to comment unnecessarily. Yes or no? I hope you understand. Yes.
Sir, even to accept.
I mean, no, it's not about consent. It's empathy. It created. I love my sister. Her tears made me realize something that created the moral sense. Moral compass is what leads to conscience. Yes. See, for example, some people are ruthless, like Yamadharma Raja. Time. Okay, Yamadharma Raja and time. These are like natural laws. They don't have any emotions whatsoever. Why? Their knowledge is crystal clear. Yes or no? As long as his knowledge is crystal clear, his time is done. Pick him up. There is no conscience. So having crystal clear knowledge will also have no problem with conscience. Yes or no? Time does not stop for anyone. Yes or no? Natural laws does not stop for anyone. Because I am throwing this bottle, it doesn't stop in the air, right? Yes or no? So all these things have absolute knowledge. When they have crystal clear knowledge, they don't apply to your conscience. Sir, just 1 minute, I will talk to my wife for the last time. Will Yamadharma Raja stop for you? It's not lack of conscience, it's clarity. Yes or no? Yes? I hope you understand. So you cannot say that he doesn't have conscience. He knows clearly what he is doing, what he is not doing. But absolute knowledge gave him that clarity that I am supposed to do this. As a bureaucrat, the same will apply to you. Yes, you have crystal clear clarity. Your job is to arrest Aditya. Okay, but deeply your conscience also tells you that he is not the criminal. Two different things. I am arresting him with 100% conscience, knowing that he is not the criminal. I am doing my duty, and at the same time, I am answerable to my own conscience. Two things can happen at the same time. Conscience does not guarantee actions. Please remember that. For example, the Kerala DGP, he was in Sabarimala with tears. But the same DGP upheld his duty fantastically by not allowing anyone to enter the temple. So he was beating people who were protesting against the Sabarimala judgment, but at the same time, as a person, he was crying in the temple out of his own thought process. Two different things. So I can have conscience, I know good and bad, but sometimes I may still do the duty. Clear? Yes?
Your knowledge says patriarchy is wrong. In your own family, the patriarchy is high.
Then you shout on them. Simple. Yes.
Not because of the consent.
Why? I had no such feelings.
Your father was doing it. For example,
Yeah.
itself is doing this patriarchal stuff. And you being a son, and you know this, you have a knowledge. And you cannot burst on your father like.
Then you tell that religious idiom, right? Telsindi cheppakapothe. That means if you know the dharma, if you don't tell that dharma, it is wrong.
I think we building consensus.
At least first they should know, right? They should get that awakening. Again, always apply that formula, right? When you need a toy aeroplane, you start with Boeing 747. Okay, you start there, you discount it, and finally your father will accept. Okay, 747 or toy. Okay, take it. You don't start opposite, right? If you say Nanagaru, like this is called as patriarchy. He will say, you have become so big, now you are giving me gyan. All these things will happen, right? Yes. Start with the hell has broken. Like start there. Okay, finally. Okay, this is acceptable. Right? So again, that is my approach. I don't know how you approach. See, again, jokes apart, you have to definitely increase their knowledge. You have to tell them, or there is this ad, right? Tata ad, I guess. A female, a young graduate out of the college. Okay, she gets trained by a famous company. She becomes a mechanic. The father doesn't approve of that, but the father's tractor gets broken down. She gets and repairs it. So that is when he realizes it. Okay, my daughter is also great. So you prove by example. You prove by some knowledge. You increase the knowledge of the families that patriarchy is a wrong thing. Okay, so small like persuasion, nudging. Why can't mother also sit with us and have dinner with the same table? Why should they have dinner after we had it? Why can't we all have a family moment? So you can persuade it in a different nudging way, right? So we'll have a family moment by sitting together instead of having in a shift basis. Those are the things you can do. That is your emotional intelligence. When we come to emotional intelligence and attitude, we will discuss that. Yes. So you have to nudge, right? Or you have to slap them. Only two things. Yes.
Even that is the problem with public service. Like we need to nudge the people
To get to the changes, exactly.
So we need to persuade people to get the things done.
See, again, conscience at individual level is totally different from conscience of a public servant. There you need CCTV cameras, biometric applications, and all those external factors to nudge his conscience. At a personal level, I can tell you moral stories. Ashok Khemka did this. As an aspirant, you have to do this. You will be motivated. You will get into IAS. All you see is people having drinks and discussing about dowry. I am getting 250 crores. Oh, I am getting 25. What's your favorite brand? Then the discussions get diluted. At that moment, I cannot come and tell you, Chandamama Kadalu and tell you to persuade, right? You are already a big man. Then I need to use different kind of externalities. I hope you understand. At learning stage, I can persuade it with lot of stories. Yes. So for example, the same student who kicks them and do this, when he becomes a DGP or someone, he puts his leg like this and the constable will come and tie the laces. Yes or no? Power corrupts absolutely, and absolute power corrupts absolutely. Lord Acton. Yes. So at that time I cannot come and tell you, in his also divinity is there, you also have divinity. All those things won't work. I hope you understand. So layers. Conscience works in layers. Everybody has to understand. The same person after getting power might be a different person. Yes or no? For example, you write a essay on dowry, women empowerment. What is the first thing after you getting into the service? You tell the broker 25 plus. Yes or no? Don't bring me anything less than 25. Not lakhs, crores. Yes. These things happen. Again, I am not encouraging you all such stuff. I am just telling you situation, circumstances, morality will change. So I will share this document anyhow, just read it and come back and we will discuss everything. But remember, as Rousseau has said, conscience can be changed with education and knowledge. So every determinant of ethics, religion, family, education, society, culture, your boss, your organization values, the books you read, the movies you watch, everything will define your conscience. For example, if you are watching movies like Hotel Rwanda, Schindler's List, yes, Pursuit of Happiness, so you will develop a new moral standards and your conscience. Yes, again, Old Boy, I told you, right, the Korean movie Old Boy. If you watch all these movies, you will develop a higher level of conscience. You know what is good and what is bad. But if you watch brilliant movies like Doom 3 and other things, your conscience will be different. Yes or no? Again, it is also conscience. I'm not saying it's also knowledge. No, sorry, not conscience. It's also knowledge. But you never get the opportunity to test that conscience.
As you told, it's emotional manipulation, so like giving that kind of knowledge.
Knowledge is not manipulation, right?
The homicides and this kind of happens because they give knowledge. They think that is a knowledge.
For whom? CBI.
Homicides and all.
Daya Darwaza Todu. Okay, you watch that Indian CBI movie and you cannot become a forensic expert, right? I mean, I'm telling you. Yes.
The person is telling like dying is thing you had